Today we're going to meet Dana Stamos, the creator of the world's largest martial arts website, and we're going to find out why she has dedicated her life to promoting the arts.
I actually have about 7 or 8 different martial arts websites, and they cover all different types of topics. My usadojo.com was originally built in 2000, and it's about 5,000 pages of information, which is very, very large. So at this point, I'm trying not to put a lot more information on that, but I've also developed worldwidedojo.com, and originally it was in 8 different languages, English and 7 other languages, which became very difficult to do because I can't edit a lot of the articles in other languages. So I originally had people from all over the world that I was working with, and so we've kind of cut that down to 4 different languages and English, and basically we keep the English up fairly well and the others, but we do have a lot of articles from all over the world that are in English, which is very nice. Worldwide Dojo itself covers traditional-based martial arts, sport-based martial arts, reality-based martial arts, and entertainment in the martial arts industry, or martial arts industry and entertainment, which covers acting, stunt work, articles that cover all the movies that are coming out. If I know of something that's coming up audition-wise, I place it on there.
I'm Eric Carson. I love action. And if you want action, Mike Muller delivers.
Martial Arts Showbiz TV says it won't win an Academy Award, but it's bitchin'.
And I also have the Martial Directory. And the Martial Directory is a listing of martial arts schools, organizations, and businesses from all over the world. You can list your events as well, or let's say you want to sell something that's a martial arts related item, you can put it in the classified section. So we also have fightcon.com, which is martial arts videos. It's just like YouTube and has thousands of martial arts videos on it. We have the Martial University, which is online training, and the Martial Mall, which it doesn't really sell anything, but links through to people who do sell all types of martial arts equipment, clothing, apparel, all types of things from there. It's like window shopping. Well, actually, I began usadojo.com in about 2000. I was in a serious accident where I fell off a yacht onto cement. And I had a lot of injuries, but probably the one that's lasted the longest and the hardest to deal with was memory loss. And it took me, I didn't realize, I had just moved to Reno, I didn't realize how poor my memory was, or what the effects were, because everything was new to me. I didn't know the people, I didn't know where I was, and so, but one thing I did know is I was having a lot of troubles. I was born only seeing out of one eye at a time. So I have no depth perception. And it's not your brain, I mean, it's not your eyes and how the eyes see, but it's how the brain processes seeing. As a child, I had my first surgery when I was 3. I spent most of my youth going to clinics where they would try to teach me. They'd put me on these big machines, and you'd look into the machine and they'd say, okay, take the fly's wings and put them on the fly. So here's the fly's body. Well, I couldn't tell where the fly's body were to be able to do that. And in those days, they didn't know how to use prisms. They didn't have all the things they have for kids today. It not only affects your eyesight, but it also affects, like I said, music, math. It affects your ability to use the right and left side. I had no concept of right and left. It's something that's very difficult for me. Something like just using my hands together, that whole right and left concept was very, very hard for me. And as a child, I wanted to, they didn't have a way to determine how can we help you. Martial arts would have helped me. Martial arts makes you use all those things. It works on your coordination. Stick fighting, especially even rhythm, in the rhythm of stick fighting, which you don't want to stay in a rhythm per se, but when you're learning to stick fight, that would pull my right and left side together in such an amazing way that it helped me with a lot of those issues. You can imagine having no depth perception. Well, when I first learned to drive, it was very difficult for me.
Probably really difficult for anybody
yeah,
else
it was.
on the road,
But I
too.
was very, very cautious with how I drive. When I parked, I would have to have 3 parking places, and I would park in the middle one. Well, when we lived up on Mount Rose Highway, it was a 2-lane highway. They decided to make it 4 lanes, and they had 2 sets of cement those big, I don't know what they call them, but that keeps you in the center. So you had to come one way the whole way. When it was snowing, I wouldn't go home. I would sleep at the dojo. But my instructor really worked with me and said, look, Dana, if another car can go there, so can you. Follow that car. It was the same thing with sparring. I had to learn where you were because I can't tell where you are physically. It's like I used to play tennis, but I had to listen for the ball to bounce because I couldn't see where the ball was. So when I played tennis, because you had to do it in school, it was your PE, so I would listen for the ball to bounce, and then I could learn to judge where it was and try to hit it. So there was all these little things that you never think about that you have to do, and martial arts helped me with all of those things. Well, after my accident, same thing. When you're doing kata and you're having to practice all these things and learn all these things, that all works on memory. And so martial arts helped me and that's why I do what I do. It helped me immensely in all kinds of areas of my life to deal with all these little issues that I have. Well, once I had the head injury, when they operated on my eyes, I used to see, you see a building out of both eyes. The building isn't the same out of both eyes. I would see the building here and the building here. They would operate on it. They would change the muscles of the eyes so that at least the buildings would be on the same plane. Okay? After my accident, it all went back to being, it caused all kinds of issues again with because it is brain trauma. It's not the eyeballs, but it's brain trauma. So it caused more issues. And once again, going back into martial arts, trying to do those things that martial arts makes you do helps me with that, even though it's really, really difficult to do. I also ran Special Olympics for years because I truly understood what it was to have a handicap, to not be able to do, what everybody else does.
Well, that may explain your incredible passion for martial arts
Yeah.
and your incredible patience for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I guess you have a huge staff to help you with all of that
Oh,
work.
yes, I do. I have me, myself, and I. So this is my office, and this is where I spend most of my time. I eat here, sleep here, and work here about 18, 19 hours a day. I taught myself computers, so sometimes I know enough to be dangerous, but I managed to get the job done. I love martial arts. My frustration right now is I'm not getting to do as much martial arts as I would like to because I travel a lot, covering events and those types of things, but it is my passion. And not just for me, but I watch other children. I watch people that have issues in their lives, and when you have a patient martial arts instructor, they can work miracles. I mean, I watch kids, I worked, when I was in college, I worked a lot in detention facilities, and especially with youth facilities. And I totally believe that if you can get kids into good martial arts classes, it will change their lives. It will change their character. It will give them confidence. It's something, and it's not hard to do. They love it. Once you get in there and you're doing it, it's like, you're not, having to eat lemons. It truly is fun. And so here you're doing something that affects your life in so many areas, in so many ways, and it's fun. What more could you ask for,
I've got a thought. Well, one more thing you might be able to ask for is to make money off of this.
Yes, that would be my next goal. Well, actually, to be honest with you, Terry, at first I didn't want to make money. That wasn't my goal. This was my hobby, but pretty soon it took over my life, and I was doing graphic design, but there was no time for it. So I am at that point. But one of the things that I really did not want to do is take money away from martial arts instructors and their schools and running those schools. So I was very careful. I didn't want to sell anything. I didn't want to sell, gis. I didn't want to go in and sell supplies or gear because I did not want to compete. I've been very careful about that. So I tried to find other ways to utilize that. That's when I built the Marshall Mall. I don't sell anything on the Marshall Mall, but if you have a company that sells stuff, you can buy a space on the Marshall Mall. And so if you go to one page, it has all gis, and one page, you can buy nunchaka. Each one of them has different things that you can buy, and you can put your company in there, and it just links through to your company. And you'll just pay either, you can buy by the hit, or you can pay, by a monthly fee, whatever it is, and it's really, really a minimal fee. The same with the Marshall Directory. If you went to Yelp, you would pay to have the same thing on Yelp about $300 a month. I only charge $9.99 because it's for martial arts schools, and I want to promote those schools. I want to help those schools. So The money was never really the issue, but it's kind of becoming the issue just because I really do need to make a living. Sometimes I have to eat. And I do like to go to, I could probably get invited to about 6 events a weekend. I would really like to be able to go to those. And that costs, everything costs money these days. So, yes.